because I don't have the right name? I don't understand why it's not working. I have the wrong chat. Pop out chat here. I'm not trying to show it on stream. Okay, so probably should have tested this last night, but it seems like it is in fact working. Okay, so just to make sure I have the right chat popped out. Oh. All right, let's get into it. Make sure this playlist loops. So this is, I'm going to be reading excerpts from The Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire. If I get a request in chat for a particular era of Empire, I'll read that part. History tells us, given enough time, all empires will fall. But if we do not also come to understand how and why they rise, we will remain trapped in this cycle forever. Since the end of the Galactic Civil War, for most of the last 30 years, it was thought that the history of the Galactic Empire was clear and easily understandable. That the New Republic had successfully taught the next generations about the horror inflicted upon the galaxy by Palpatine and his followers. It seemed to be an easy message to explain something that was now safely behind us. My colleagues and I congratulated ourselves on the ways we'd been able to take the realities of the Empire and convert them into lessons in schools and universities, which would then further ripple out across the galaxy. We were so sure that we had created a perfect way of preventing future conflicts and a return to imperialism. We were fools. I was a fool. As much as we might have wished that the remnants of the Empire could have been left to rot beneath the sands of Jakku, it seems we could not be free of it so easily. I recall the shock I felt when resistance agents brought back from Batuu, among other things, word that they were traitors in the Black Spire outpost, selling busts of Emperor Palpatine and other trinkets of his fallen empire. How could this be? What must have happened to make the image of the Emperor, a man responsible for the murder of billions, acceptable enough to sell and own, even long after his apparent death at Endor? How could we all have gone so astray? Recent events have shown us the Imperial ideology was not, as once hoped, a thing of the past, and its return pushed the entire galaxy over the edge of disaster. The First Order brought death and tyranny with them out of unknown regions. Hosnian Prime was destroyed just as Alderaan once was. Billions died across the galaxy as the New Republic disintegrated in the face of an enemy that sought to subjugate all worlds. This alone was bad enough. Then came the transmission from Exegol, hurdling the return of Emperor Palpatine. I don't know how that went. The exact techniques he used to cheat death are currently unclear, but Rey Skywalker has been certain that she fought on Exegol. What she fought on Exegol was Palpatine, returned in some twisted form and set on conquering the galaxy and ruling it forever. His subsequent defeat in the destruction of the First Order and its true face as Palpatine's final order was achieved only through the desperate actions of the Resistance and brave people from across the galaxy, who came to Exegol prepared to fight to the death. I was among them. I saw many of my friends make that sacrifice. Who wrote this introduction? Oh my god. It's pretty long. In the aftermath of the battle, those of us who survived celebrated our victory on Aging Gloss. It was there, surrounded by jubilation, that I noticed the things that have troubled me ever since. I heard people talk in joyous terms about how the Force had been with us at Exegol. I watched them discuss how the final death of Palpatine had liberated the galaxy. I could feel the relief that was over them all. But I did not feel, or say, or agree with these things. To be a historian is, at times, to be cursed. Perpetually watching patterns or seeing similarities and worrying about whether whatever comes next will resemble the past behind us. The past behind us. On Aging Kloss, I began to wonder and worry if the celebrations we were involved in were very difficult from those on Endor more than 30 years before. They too had seemingly killed an emperor, won a war, and sought to create a better life for the people of the galaxy. It is time to admit that both they and those of us followed in their footsteps failed. Those of us who followed in their footsteps, excuse me. The failure had understandable roots. Having fought a long and desperate war against the Empire, it was only natural for the leaders and soldiers of the Rebel Alliance to turn their eyes to the future that the New Republic would provide. The years after Endor and Jakku were marked initially by hope and optimism, but the line between hope and blind hope is a dangerous one to walk. In the post-war years, people became so determined to look forward that they did not spend nearly enough time looking back at what they had left behind. They tied themselves so tightly to the belief that this should never happen again, that they neglected to take the steps to ensure that it could not. They did not understand the Galactic Empire. They did not understand how it had functioned, how it had operated, and how it had ruled the galaxy. They did not comprehend why so many had served seemingly voluntarily within its ranks and perpetrated so many heinous crimes. They viewed the Empire and Emperor Palpatine they viewed the Empire as Emperor Palpatine, and with him gone, so too was his empire. But the imperial ideology did not disappear overnight. How many ex-imperials escaped to form the First Order? How many continued to undermine the New Republic from within? How many celebrated it as Hosnian crime burned? The Empire had endured, though it may have reappeared with a new name and new uniforms. The roots of the First Order led all the way back to the Galactic Empire that we had resolutely failed to understand. I do not believe we can risk that again. The idea we achieved victory at Exegol because the Force was with us overlooks just how close to complete destruction we all came. We were hugely fortunate to achieve victory, and I do not wish to trust that again. I am not a great Jedi like Rey. I am not a leader like Generals Poe Dameron and Finn. I do not have insights and the abilities of Commander Rose Tico. I do not know how to do the things that the leaders of the Resistance must now do to lead us forward and help us rebuild. Because I am not like them. Before the war, I was just a historian. I liked reading and researching. Then came the Hosnian Cataclysm, and I realized that the galaxy needed soldiers. So I fought as best as I could. But now, in the earliest stages of the peace we fought for, I believe the galaxy needs a historian again. Some who can help us understand the past, so we do not have to fight in the future again. Fight again in the future. Planet in the hosting system of the core world located before the trades fire. Oh, it's the movie that gets beamed by the Starkiller base in the first minute, yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Before we can even begin to analyze the intricacies and events of the Empire, there are things that need to be further explained and understood. I've spent years researching and examining the nature of the mystical energy field generally referred to as the Force. Similarly, I have spent much time uncovering mysteries of the Jedi and Sith orders that drew upon different aspects of the Force, but I am well aware that much of this knowledge is not widespread across the galaxy and can, at times, seem frankly beyond belief. While I have attempted to become an expert in this topic, the actual usage and intricacies of the Force are far beyond my comprehension. In fact, one of the Empire's greatest successes has been to erase and suppress even the very memory of the Jedi. I think we heard this one. Oh, Servo's coming up next. My favorite songs. I'll just restart the shuffle. Not going to read much more of this because it's stupid long and no one is doing it. Should give a preemptive warning. Before we can even begin to analyze the intricacies and events of the Empire, there are things that need to be further explained and understood. I spent 5 years researching and examining the nature of the mystical energy known as the Force. Similarly, I have spent much time uncovering mysteries of the Jedi and Sith orders that drew upon different aspects of the Force. But I am well aware that much of this knowledge is not widespread across the galaxy and can at times seem frankly beyond belief. While I have attempted to become an expert in this topic, the actual usage and intricacies of the Force are far beyond my comprehension. In fact, one of the Empire's greatest successes has been to erase and suppress even the very memory of the Jedi, a group who once served the Galactic Republic for over 1,000 years. The members of the Jedi Order were able to access what was referred to as the light side of the Force. It granted them almost magical powers, including telekinesis, athletic ability, and meditative foresight. Within the Republic, they served as diplomats, advisors, and were very occasionally warriors. That was, at least until the Clone Wars, because the Jedi were not alone in being able to draw upon the Force. The Sith were essentially the opposite of the Jedi. They too could use the Force, but where the Jedi prized its ability to grant knowledge and inner peace, the Sith saw in the dark side the potential to provide power fed by their raw emotions of anger and hatred. For the Sith, the Force could, as will be discussed in forthcoming chapters, provide a variety of unnatural powers. While I cannot access or utilize the Force myself, I have seen and read many things that make its existence undeniable. This is such a good NSG song, though. untold millennia, the Jedi and Sith fought each other for control of the Force and galaxy. Until the dying days of the Republic, it had been taught that the Sith were extinct. But this was not the case. They had survived in the shadows, biding their time. Perhaps the greatest practitioner of the dark side of the Force had risen to finally defeat the Jedi and seize the galaxy. His Sith name was Darth Sidious. The rest of the galaxy knew him as Chief Palpatine. One-time Supreme Chancellor, and more notably Emperor of the Galaxy. Though the infrastructure of the Galactic Empire and his knowledge of the Force, the infrastructure of the Galactic Empire and his knowledge of the Force, Palpatine is likely to have been the most powerful individual who ever existed. But as we will discuss, Palpatine's arcane or supernatural abilities should not give us a false sense of security. While he was able to utilize powers that most of the rest of the galaxy could not, his desire for power and control were not coming from the Force. They existed within him in the same way they could conceivably exist with anyone. Palpatine was not a demon. He was a man. It is that aspect I find most terrifying of all. Yeah, and a human man, right? How many other Star Wars species out there that have higher Mandalorian counts than humans, right? How about that? The first part of this study will deal with the rise and consolidation of Palpatine's regime. It will examine what we know of Palpatine himself and factor in recent events in helping to understand what his objectives were for the Galactic Empire and the role he played at the center of it. Though Palpatine no doubt benefited from the various strange supernatural powers, some of which will be discussed further in the forthcoming chapters, granted to him by his study of the arcane aspects of the dark side of the Force, he was still just one person. He was not the totality of the Empire, nor did he administer it on a day-to-day basis. So this part will also explore some of the institutions that administered the Empire, such as the Commission for the Preservation of the New Order, or COMPNOR for short. It will explain how its economy functioned, its industrial outputs and controls, and its approach to education. It will show how the Clone Wars were part of a wider plan to destroy the Republic and bring about the Empire's ascendancy. It will also show that, despite Palpatine now ruling, the Imperial Senate remained, at least until the destruction of Alderaan, as a key part of the Imperial infrastructure for years. Though a much maligned body, it was clearly still seen as a necessity by Imperial officials while they secured power. The second part will explore exactly how the Empire sought to achieve dominance over much of the galaxy. It will analyze the Imperial military and ways in which it expanded the Empire's borders. Okay. I don't want Chris Kemshaw coming after me. So I'm probably going to finish the introduction and call it. Through a system of conquests and annexations, it will also identify leading figures within the Empire's military. Figures like Grand Moff Tarkin, Darth Vader, and Grand Admiral Thrawn. All are infamous, but how much about them do we actually know? Do we fully understand how they served within the Imperial hierarchy? It is time to analyze those operating below Palpatine who ruled large swaths of the galaxy We also need to understand what the empire did with that level of control. The prejudice, the bigotry, the restrictive laws, the brutal punishments, the massacres, the genocide. The empire was held together by violence and horror. We cannot look away from these truths. In the face of such a tyrannical government, rebellion was not just an inevitability, but a moral imperative. The third part will therefore deal with the Galactic Civil War. We were blessed in the years after Endor that enough of the leading figures of the Rebel Alliance had survived to help record their own thoughts and recollections on the war. They outlined the different strategies and decisions undertaken by the rebels and how together they had achieved victory. But what of the Empire? How much time has been spent looking at Imperial strategy during the war? The Death Star was supposed to be the end of the resistance in the galaxy. Its destruction left a huge vacuum of personnel and planning at the center of the Imperial military. Who and what filled that vacuum? Why did the Empire wage war in the way that it did? How did it understand the rebel threat? All these questions must be answered in order to fully comprehend the lessons of the Galactic Civil War and the reasons why the Rebel Alliance eventually triumphed. The fall of the Galactic Empire is the focus of the fourth and final part. While the Battle of Endor may have seemingly temporarily spelt the end of the Empire, the end of Palpatine, the war itself continued for another year. In many ways, it was one of the worst years of the war. Operation Cinder saw the Empire's remaining forces raise entire worlds as some form of punishment for the Emperor's death. In the absence of the Emperor, various Imperial factions began to appear as the military and government split apart. The Battle of Jakku marked the end of the official hostilities, but clearly this was not the end of the Empire. The New Republic instigated systems of truth and reconciliation to try and heal a war-weary galaxy. Some of these programs worked, others did not. Complacency and appeasement became policy. Remnants of the Empire continued to endure the galaxy, while in the unknown regions, the First Order gained strength. The recent disastrous war was resolved. I'm kind of afraid to read more at this point. I don't want to get copyright strikes by UK publishers or Chris Kemp Shaw. Great read.